In northern Tanzania, near the border with Kenya, lies one of Africa's most relentless regions, a vast savanna where life and death collide without pause. Under a relentless sun, the cracked earth stretches endlessly, with scorching days and nights so cold they cut through the skin. Every creature, from the tiniest insect to the fiercest predator, struggles daily to survive in a land that punishes without warning. Rainfall is brief and violent. Droughts can last weeks, turning the plains into dust-filled deserts of hunger. Here, an extraordinary animal thrives, one that abandoned brute strength and numbers for a radical strategy, pure speed. The cheetah roams this harsh terrain, constantly facing danger while coexisting with unique species, many on the edge of extinction, governed by the unforgiving law of adapt or perish. Among them, the cheetah embodies the fragile line between survival and failure. The story of this land is not carved in stone but traced in sun-bleached bones and fleeting footprints. Life here demands cunning, resilience, and foresight. Across the expansive plains, where the horizon stretches uninterrupted and the midday heat scorches the ground, the savanna may seem calm. Winds sway the grass, a few herbivores graze, and the sky appears still and indifferent. Yet in this deceptive quiet, a singular predator moves with unmatched stealth, more agile than a lion, lighter than a hyena, and less bulky than a leopard. Unlike other large predators that depend on strength, the cheetah relies on extreme specialization, speed. Its spine flexes and stretches like a spring with every stride, propelling it as if gravity were minimal, while long elastic legs send it bounding over the plains. Its partially non-retractable claws maintain grip during sharp turns, where slipping could mean starvation, and a long heavy tail acts as a rudder, balancing high-speed maneuvers. In this brutal environment, a chase lasting mere seconds can determine life or death. The cheetah lacks a lion's power, a leopard's cunning, and jaws for tearing large prey, but it compensates with an extraordinary ability to turn split-second decisions into survival. Every muscle, tendon, and fiber is honed to seize that critical moment, making speed its greatest ally. Its daily life reflects this extreme specialization, patrolling open areas, eyes scanning for movement, detecting vulnerable prey. Young cheetahs remain with their siblings for months, sharing small hunts and resting places before instinct drives them apart. Females traverse vast expanses alone, raising cubs far from lions and hyenas. Solitude offering protection but also exposure. Despite being the fastest land animal, vulnerability is constant. A wounded cheetah is doomed, and a failed hunt could mean death. The cheetah is vulnerable to prey theft, and without fat reserves or stored strength, its survival chances are minimal. Every chase carries the risk of overheating, as its body temperature approaches critical levels in less than a minute. If the prey is not caught in time, the cheetah must stop, or collapse is inevitable. Its strategy is never to chase everything that moves. It stalks, observes, studies the terrain, and waits for the perfect moment. Prey selection depends not only on size or distance but also on subtle details: a crack in the ground, a slight slope, or a patch of taller grass can ruin the hunt. Scavengers detect successful kills through subtle cues, the wind carrying the scent of fresh meat to a vulture circling above, calculating the right moment to approach. The cheetah, panting beside its downed prey, watches cautiously. There is no confrontation, only a silent negotiation where patience favors the wise. Every nearby peck, every winged shadow landing a few meters away, reminds the predator that the feast is fleeting. Vultures do not strike immediately. They circle and wait for exhaustion to give them the prize. Just as adult survival depends on endurance, the next generation faces its own challenges. Reproduction is another unequal battle. Cheetah cubs suffer one of the highest mortality rates among large African predators, with nearly 70% failing to survive their first months. Lions and leopards, encountering an unprotected litter while the mother hunts, eliminate the young to reduce future competition. Females must constantly move, hide cubs in remote areas, and limit their hunting for weeks to protect their offspring, maintaining a delicate balance between survival and nurturing. Yet the cheetah persists, finding a path to endure in a world dominated by brute force through speed, calculation, and daily risks. As the sun sets, shadows stretch across the plains, and the heat gives way to a cooler wind. The cheetah moves to open areas, resting on the grass and conserving energy, never hunting at night when its vision is less effective. Lions then take control of the savanna while the cheetah hides in thickets or depressions, silent and alert. At dawn, vigilance resumes. Each day is a struggle with no guarantee of survival. Morning light gradually illuminates the plains, wind rustling tall grass as distant roars signal shifting dominance. Daytime hunters reassert themselves, and a female cheetah glides cautiously through the grass, followed closely by two young cubs. They are small, vulnerable, and still learning to interpret the world around them. Every step exposes them to hidden dangers. Grass that shields them can also conceal threats, and silence demands constant alertness. On the open plains where life and death are measured in fractions of a second, the female stops at low bushes, sniffing the air, scanning the terrain, and moving toward a clearing. Her cubs mimic her, learning paths where gazelles graze and clearings where predators wait, gradually mastering the lessons of survival. Every movement of the female cheetah traces areas where, hours earlier, a lion's footprints mark the ground, or where the wind carries the scent of easy prey. Suddenly, she halts alert to a sound. On the horizon, a solitary adult male lion appears. Not hunting, merely wandering, yet his presence sends tension rippling across the savannah. The female crouches, her cubs frozen beside her. The lion sniffs the air, following traces only he can detect, his silent threat weaving through the grass like an ancient certainty. Escape is impossible. There is no nearby shelter, and sending the cubs away is too risky. Yet submission is not in the female's instinct. She steps toward the lion, closing a dangerous but not yet lethal distance. Then begins a careful run, not full speed, just enough to stay visible, tempting him to follow. He chases, circling and zigzagging through scattered bushes, each stride deliberate. He does not run from fear but from strategy. The lion's heavy body, built for strength and short bursts, cannot match the cheetah's speed. She accelerates, pauses ahead, moves again, repeating this delicate dance for minutes that feel endless. Exhausted and frustrated, the lion finally halts, recognizing the futility of expending energy without reward. The female, having memorized every meter, returns directly to her hidden cubs, checking them with a quick nuzzle before moving toward safety. There is no celebration, no triumph. Victories are silently acknowledged, stored in memory. In this world, brute force decides much, but not all. Survival depends on knowing when to fight and when to risk. In that fleeting moment, the cheetah transformed her greatest vulnerability into opportunity. As the sun sets and shadows stretch across the plains, they have overcome today's danger, yet tomorrow will bring new challenges, particularly for her small, fragile cubs who rely entirely on her choices. Across the savannah, life continues, with the same harsh precision. The male lion, often protected by his pride, moves with measured steps through the territory. He is neither the largest nor the most skilled, never leading hunts or fiercely defending a territory. His rank always at the bottom of the social order. The rules are strict and unforgiving. Food is taken, not shared. Mating rights are contested, not granted. Without strength, allies, or family support, one is left vulnerable, eating scraps, avoiding unnecessary conflict, and learning to move unnoticed to survive among those stronger than himself, outnumbered in both strength and cunning. The young lion had always known the alpha male, with his thick, dark mane, as the living image of authority on the savannah. His mere presence forced other males to bow their heads and keep their distance. None dared challenge him, for defeat meant exile or death. The young lion understood this hierarchy from birth, but the day came when he had to decide: remain a subordinate, living on scraps, condemned to anonymity and denied offspring, or leave and face exile, with loneliness, hunger, and predators lurking at every turn, where no friendly roar would answer and every sound was a threat. He chose exile. The first day passed quietly, but by the second, stifling heat and a brief storm left the ground sticky, the air heavy, and hunger gnawing at his muscles and dulling his mind. Adult lions require substantial meat to maintain hunting strength. Without it, both body and instincts weaken. On these plains, no prey wanders unprepared. Large African herbivores, muscular antelopes, swift zebras, and robust oryx with spear-like horns survive because they understand the land's rules. Lions hunt in packs because alone their odds are slim. Yet this lion had no choice. One afternoon, amid the distant and hostile expanse, he spots a young oryx separated from its group, grazing unaware of a hunter. Opportunity is rare, and for minutes he remains hidden, analyzing distance, wind, and escape routes. Failure is fatal. Then it strikes. The chase is brief and tense. In seconds, his paws close the gap, and with a precise leap, his claws sink into the oryx's back. The animal thrashes violently, its horns slashing, striking the lion's side, yet he holds firm. For this lone predator, there is no second chance. This moment determines his survival. His jaws clamp onto the oryx's neck, tearing until blood darkens the earth beneath. The oryx kicks, first in desperation, then reflexively. Death here offers neither honor nor justice. It is the inevitable fate of those who cannot flee and those who cannot fail. What began as the misfortune of exile transforms into his first hard-earned victory. Alone, without pack or support, every meal must be seized through courage and skill, each scar a testament to survival. Until now anonymous, he has taken the first step toward a rare life. A male who defies the chains of his pride, plunges into the savannah's abyss, and instead of succumbing, endures. If he survives long enough, he may become what once oppressed him, a solitary master of his own territory, food, and destiny. But for now night falls, and with the oryx partially consumed, he pauses to contemplate the harsh lessons of this new existence. Horizon that for the first time belongs entirely to him. On the African savannah, the oldest law is written not in stone but in flesh. Those who do not strive perish. Those who do not take risks vanish. Lions, unlike the prey around them, understood generations ago that survival depends on determination, not luck. A pride is a tightly organized society where each member has a role. Lionesses hunt, care for cubs, and defend the territory, while males grow strong to assert social and territorial dominance. Yet not all reach that status. Many live and die without leaving a mark. The herd discards the weak. A lion that grows slow, cowardly, or reliant on others' kills becomes a burden. No one protects him. The family that once sheltered him drives him away, leaving him to face hunger or predators alone. This harshness and intolerance of weakness have made lions rulers of the land. They never settle. There is no room for laziness or fear. A lion unwilling to fight, challenge stronger opponents, or hunt until the end cannot belong to the pride. It has always been this way, and for this reason they rule the savannah. Around them, most herbivores inhabit these plains: zebras, wildebeests, gazelles, antelopes born with cowardice etched in their bodies. Their eyes glance sideways, their legs built for flight, and their mouths resigned to grazing. Evolution does not reward conformity. It gave them speed and alertness, but not strength to defy. They live in herds, lost in crowds, waiting for others to fall first. Only rarely does one confront their limitations, and almost never successfully. Lions, however, belong to a natural elite, living on the edge of danger and paying the price. For every adult in the sun, many died before arriving. Only those who shed fear, conformity, and weakness inherited these lands. There are no inherited titles here. Status is earned, and the timid fail. Kindness offers nothing. Compassion is a luxury. This rule separates those who claim the horizon from those who graze and flee. Each generation discards the unfit, passing on brutality, ferocity, and resilience. Lions enjoy privileges no other animal can. On the savannah, where all creatures watch shadows, measure distances, and fear the next strike, lions walk unchallenged. They have no natural predators. They dominate the best water sources and rest under leafy trees where shade and moisture endure. These territories belong to the kings. No herbivore approaches when a lion is present. After a hunt, lions gorge and then sleep, sometimes more than 20 hours undisturbed, while herbivores graze afar. Scavengers keep their distance, and jackals roam silently. The privilege of sleeping without fear, of resting without keeping an eye constantly open, is a reward reserved only for them. This land does not reward the good, but those who have paid the price to reach the top. Beyond their physical strength, lions possess unique adaptations, born ready to survive in a harsh environment. Their eyes detect details in darkness that others cannot see, their hearing captures distant sounds, and their sense of smell deciphers messages carried on the wind from miles away. A lion's instinct, honed through generations of violence, allows him to sense prey before his eyes confirm it. A subtle movement in the grass, a shift in the wind, or a sudden silence triggers his subconscious long before reason takes over. When the afternoon heat presses down and the savannah seems still, his body feels an almost physical tension, signaling that danger is near. This invisible code has saved countless lions and now runs in his blood. That is why lions do not flee, why they defend their territory, and why they rest where others dare not. They are dominant not only because they hunt effectively, but because from birth, every part of their body, mind, and instinct is designed to survive where others fail. Generations have paid a high price, and the reward is an animal that can sleep peacefully while everything around it remains alert. Yet beneath the violence, hunts, and exile of the weak lies a surprising truth. Lions are also among the most affectionate social animals in Africa. Unlike solitary tigers, lions cannot survive without their pride. They require companionship, physical closeness, and a structure that binds the group. Between long sleep and hunts, lions groom one another, licking wounds and dust from their family's fur, rubbing faces, caressing, and lying together. This is no superficial act, but a vital code, strengthening bonds in an environment of scarcity and fierce competition, where communication is built through contact, shared shade, or a freshly hunted carcass. It is also strategic. Grooming preserves a uniform scent, confuses smaller predators, and reinforces the pride's control of territory. This tradition stems from ancestors who knew that without cooperation, no male could maintain a herd alone. While other big cats prefer solitude, lions are born to live together, surviving only by knowing when to fight and when to share. They embody extremes, mercilessly killing prey or expelling a weak member, yet resting near rivals, sharing food with cubs and tenderly grooming wounded companions. Perhaps this balance between savagery and genuine affection, between death and rest, solitude and brotherhood, is what makes lions so compelling to humans and nature alike. The savannah lies still under the muted afternoon light. A lion yawns, another stretches beside it. Hyenas prowl, gazelles watch the horizon, and for now, everything remains in perfect balance. In this corner of Africa, it will remain that way. In the African jungle, where mist brushes the treetops and shadows hide in every corner, survival is relentless, eternal, and unavoidable. Yet not all inhabitants rely on speed or strength. Some have mastered stealth as their key strategy. In the dense understory, where sunlight barely penetrates and moisture blankets the fertile soil, lives one of the most secretive creatures of the tropical ecosystem, Jackson's chameleon. This reptile thrives in solitude, where aggression and swiftness are liabilities rather than assets. In a world that seems to move at breakneck speed, it has perfected the art of stillness and invisibility, measuring life in calculated pauses that allow it to merge seamlessly with its surroundings. Males are recognizable by 3 prominent horns atop their heads, resembling miniature triceratops. But these structures are not for combat. They signal status and communicate hierarchy without violence. These features result from natural selection, favoring individuals who conserve energy, avoid unnecessary fights, and enhance survival. Their threat displays, including deliberate movements, posturing, and intensified colors, are a precise evolutionary ritual, with real combat occurring only when unavoidable. Through this approach, Jackson's chameleons coexist safely, preserving energy for vital tasks like hunting and reproduction. Every moment is a blend of motionlessness and alertness, enabling them to vanish into their environment. Their extraordinary, stereoscopic vision, with independently moving eyes, allows observation in 2 directions simultaneously without movement, providing unmatched tactical advantage. When prey such as crickets, grasshoppers, or small insects appears, the chameleon strikes with astonishing speed, projecting its muscular sticky tongue up to twice its body length to capture it without relocating. But hunting relies not only on its tongue. Its skin is equally vital, capable of changing color in response to light, temperature, emotion, and communication needs. It remains hidden from predators while signaling other chameleons silently. Life in the understory, though quieter than the canopy, is fraught with danger from birds of prey, snakes, and small carnivores. Every movement must be deliberate, every pause calculated. This predator waits for its food rather than chasing it, observing with rolling eyes until the perfect moment arrives, then striking with surgical precision. Its relatively large size, reaching up to 35 centimeters, helps it conserve heat and endure fasting. In cooler mountain forests, male and female strategies differ. Females, smaller and less aggressive, invest energy in reproduction, carefully depositing up to 30 eggs in shallow, humid, temperature-stable soil where they remain hidden for 9 months. Even these skilled hunters must remain vigilant, for danger is always near. The jungle is always an unpredictable landscape. Raptors glide above in search of unaware prey, while tree snakes move stealthily from above. On a bare branch, a chameleon stays motionless, confident in its camouflage. But a shadow slips through the leaves. A green snake, patient and slow, inches closer. Each leaf it brushes quivers, and the chameleon notices too late. The distance narrows to mere centimeters. Only a slight tremor of its crest reveals it. The snake pauses and evaluates. As a last effort, the chameleon darkens its skin, merging with a nearby branch. The snake hesitates briefly before continuing its path, disappearing into the foliage. Once the threat passes, the chameleon returns to stillness, but not for long. Light fades, and a chill settles among the branches. At night, behavior shifts. The chameleon retreats to protected areas where dense vegetation preserves warmth, minimizing movement as if frozen, relying on camouflage and stillness to remain undetected. Lacking internal heat generation, cold is a real danger. With dawn, jungle life awakens. Insectivorous birds flutter through bushes and chameleons, still numb, move with extreme caution. Every step is slow, each pause an observation through rotating eyes. The day begins, but dangers are already present. Near a moss-covered trunk, a male stays motionless, blending into the greenish moss. Its eyes track a beetle, unaware of the peril. After assessing distance and humidity, the chameleon flicks out its tongue and captures the insect. Yet the movement alerts a tree snake, sensing vibrations among the branches. It glides silently, tongue tasting the air. The chameleon reacts, instantly, darkening its skin and pressing against the bark. For a moment, silence dominates. The snake approaches, head mere centimeters above, exploring faint trails. The chameleon remains rigid, a subtle tremor betraying its location. The snake strikes without warning, fangs sinking in to immobilize its prey. No struggle, no sound, the body suspended as the predator ascends. Even perfection has limits, and sometimes they fail. On East African mountain slopes, where this chameleon lives, weather shifts drastically. Daytime temperatures can reach 30, dropping below 10 at night. This harsh climate shapes chameleons into resilient, adaptable beings. During the rainy season, the rainforest thrives. Humidity peaks, vegetation flourishes, and insects abound. Chameleons feast, gain weight, and prepare for reproduction. Eggs hidden months earlier hatch, releasing tiny survivors into a perilous world. Yet abundance draws predators. Birds increase daytime activity, and snakes intensify night hunting. Even opportunistic mammals move along the understory trails, searching for small, slow prey. Life quickens at every level of the ecosystem. Among Nocturnal residence, one of the most unusual, emerges as darkness falls. As night deepens and the air cools, a figure slips into the shadows, slow, steady, and silent. A compact, bristling silhouette glides through the undergrowth, its spines curving upward like primitive spears. This is the crested porcupine, Africa's largest rodent, weighing over 15 kilos and protected by a formidable shell. It survives without relying on speed or claws. Its spines, up to 35 centimeters long, are hardened, sharpened hairs. Some are designed to break on impact, embedding themselves in an attacker, while others, especially on the tail, are hollow and emit a dry, metallic sound when vibrated, a warning no one should ignore. It is not a predator, feeding instead on underground roots, bark, tubers, and occasional insects. But it has a unique habit of gnawing bones to extract calcium and phosphorus, maintaining its spike framework and keeping its rapidly growing teeth. Sharp burrows often contain a collection of skulls, ribs, and vertebrae, not trophies but resources. Here, in safety, its young are born blind, defenseless, and with soft spines that harden within a week, preparing them for a harsh world. Despite its defenses, threats abound in the savannah. Predators lurk, sometimes announcing themselves with grunts, sometimes with barely perceptible movements. Two eyes gleam among dry bushes. A lone spotted hyena moves tonight, a tireless scavenger and cunning hunter with jaws capable of crushing bones others avoid. Yet even the hyena respects the porcupine's quills, which can injure its snout or throat. Hunger, however, can override caution, and it sniffs, waits, watches, seeking opportunity, perhaps a stray hatchling or careless prey. Above, on a rock formation, a male lion surveys silently, his dark mane brushing in the night breeze. A solitary ruler, he hunts out of necessity rather than habit, relying on his strength of over 150 kilos rather than a pack. Tonight, with the herds of wildebeest and zebra gone, large prey is scarce. While a porcupine is not an ideal meal, desperation can cloud judgment. The lion descends with measured steps, breathing controlled, paws precise. The porcupine senses the danger, bristles erect like a living barricade, and its tail vibrates, producing a subtle warning sound. The lion approaches to just over a meter. The porcupine turns, presenting its back like a shield, twirling its tail, and hissing more intensely before firing a flurry of quills. One grazes the lion's cheek, leaving a faint but significant mark. The lion pauses, recalling past encounters where other lions were injured, paws impaled or muzzles bloodied, mistakes that in these lands can be fatal. The great predator retreats, not in flight, but with wounded dignity, aware it has been bested by a far smaller creature. Settling back on its lookout, it waits for easier prey, while the porcupine continues undisturbed. Night is far from over. Across the vast savannah, where every sound is absorbed by the dense air, a deceptive calm prevails. Between hot rocks and dry grass, a presence glides silently, a barely perceptible ripple marking the slow, calculated advance of a python, one of the continent's most feared reptiles, growing over 6 meters and able to swallow antelope-sized prey. The adult porcupine is safe, protected by its spines, but the newborns are soft, small, and vulnerable, keeping the mother close to the burrow in their first days. Her presence the best defense against invisible threats. With dawn, the savannah shifts rhythm. Shadows shorten, sounds change, and buzzards circle above, eyes piercing the undergrowth with surgical precision. Every element has a role. Even the smallest insects are crucial to the ecosystem. The hyena has abandoned its hunt, the porcupine too risky compared to the scent of a dying wildebeest, perhaps wounded the night before. Its high-pitched laugh cuts the air, celebrating the choice to avoid the impossible. The lion watches, hunger persisting but attack delayed until another day. Meanwhile, the crested porcupine, full of roots, bulbs, and bones, returns to its shelter. Stars fading as the sky clears and the warmth of the earth shields its young. Its tail swishes once more, a metallic signal echoing through the savannah, declaring it is neither hunter nor prey. Kilometers away, soaring across East African skies, the white-necked crow dominates the landscape, its dark silhouette cutting through cold heights and marking invisible routes only it knows. Its calls echo across cliffs and bushes, asserting its presence, easily recognizable by the striking white ring around its neck contrasting with black plumage. It carries an air of authority, a badge of distinction. In a world where discretion is often vital, the white-necked crow stands proudly, under clear skies or misted peaks, commanding its terrain with exceptional intelligence. One of the region's cleverest and most cunning inhabitants. Its brain, though small, processes a world with remarkable agility, remembering, learning, and planning. From a solitary branch or a jagged rock outcrop, it tirelessly surveys the land below. Nothing escapes its sharp eyes, a reptile slithering among stones, an insect stirring the grass, or the faintest motion of a predator in the shadows. Each movement may signal opportunity or danger. Omnivorous and highly adaptable, this bird has turned its diet into a feat of survival, feeding on scraps left by lions, insects hidden beneath bark, small reptiles basking on rocks, and ripe wild fruits. Even the hardest seeds discarded by others can become part of its meals. Its resourcefulness ensures survival where scarcity would defeat other species. Beyond finding food, it employs tools, using twigs to extract insects, stones to crack shells, or thorns to probe unreachable spaces. Cooperation is also part of its strategy, with several birds working together to secure large prey or defend food from scavengers like jackals, revealing a surprisingly complex social structure. In higher elevations where trees vanish and rocky formations dominate, breeding pairs carefully select nests in inaccessible holes, deep crevices, or twisted trunks, safe from predators like tree snakes. During breeding, the pair operates with perfect coordination, taking turns caring for their blind, helpless chicks over the first 4 weeks until they gain partial independence. Any mistake can be fatal. Delayed feeding can starve the young, and an unattended nest can fall to predators in seconds. The male delivers a fresh lizard, tearing it into precise portions to feed the chicks, while the mother remains vigilant, scanning the horizon for threats. The chicks grow rapidly, replacing their gray down with dark feathers, opening their eyes, and exploring the nest. By 20 days, they edge out of the nest, taking in the vast savanna, volcanic rocks, and endless sky. Their first flights are awkward but successful, marking the beginning of independence, yet the ground remains perilous with genets, servals, and jackals waiting. Parents follow closely, calling, guiding, and warning. In the dry season, when food is scarce, memory and ingenuity allow the crow to locate buried seeds, leftover nuts, bones, or straggler insects. Unlike many birds, it stores food to endure scarcity. Despite its intelligence, danger is ever present, and searching under a rock can bring it face to face with a lurking feline, or a serval moving silently through the grasses, waiting for a distraction. The white-necked crows remain vigilant, rarely allowing themselves to be surprised. Their keen eyesight and trained hearing let them anticipate attacks, and any unusual movement prompts immediate retreat, accompanied by their distinctive alarm calls to warn others. Competition is fierce at dawn, when carrion is exposed after predators have hunted, and real battles erupt for every morsel. The crows swoop, pounce, and defend with relentless coordination while some feed, others stand guard. This rhythm sustains the group for days, keeping them well fed, yet the savanna never stays still. When the rains finally arrive, the landscape transforms, grasses turn green, insects multiply, and life surges. For these birds it is a season of abundance, filled with tender shoots and vertebrates, and newly ripened fruits, but also increased competition. Aerial skirmishes become routine, squawks fill the sky, and every bite is fought for. Still, experience and intelligence keep the white-necked crows one step ahead. In the scorching daylight perched high above, they rest while remaining alert. For heat exhaustion or dehydration can be as deadly as any predator. Activity resumes as the sun descends, bringing fresh opportunities whenever a predator fails or weakened prey succumbs. They patrol relentlessly, scanning for carrion or suspicious movement, never wasting a moment. As the sun sets in ochre and gold, flocks fly over the savanna, watching for jackals, hyenas, or wandering lions. The day is not yet over. Night will return, but the cycle of life never stops. At the first light of dawn, everything begins again. Pale sunlight stretches across the vast savanna, and a gentle breeze stirs the tall grass, carrying the ancient scent of awakening life, a mixture of dust, sap, and nighttime moisture. Amid this primeval calm, a solitary figure emerges, clumsy, yet purposeful, the aardvark, the lone representative of its ancient order, a living fossil with no close relatives among modern mammals. Its rough, earthy skin blends perfectly into the African landscape. Nocturnal and elusive, it navigates a world of roots, dust, and muffled sounds, a fragile yet cunning survivor. From its burrow and narrow tunnel dug into the base of a hill, extending up to 10 meters long and 3 meters deep, it emerges into the dawn. These shelters provide safety from predators and the scorching sun, and are often borrowed temporarily by foxes, porcupines, and even reptiles when the aardvark is away. Excavated with powerful claws and patience, these tunnels provide natural protection against the dangers of the open savanna. At the entrance, the animal pauses, its long, mobile ears turning in different directions, nostrils flaring to catch every scent in the air. Any sound, the crack of a branch or the rustle of a leaf, can change its path. Night still lingers, but hunger already stirs. With slow, deliberate movements, the aardvark begins its search. Its diet is highly specialized, feeding exclusively on ants and termites, consuming up to 50,000 in a single night. Its senses are finely tuned to detect these small insects, and its sense of smell captures traces of heat and moisture. When a nest is found, it digs with strong, curved claws, removing soil with remarkable precision, then inserts its tubulous snout into the tunnels, sucking prey with its sticky retractable tongue, which can extend up to 30 centimeters. Coated in adhesive saliva, it catches its food almost effortlessly. In the dim light, the African anteater clicks its tongue and chews efficiently, while terrified termites flee in vain. Amid the buzzing and gnashing of tiny jaws, it reigns alone. Its feeding method filters and absorbs without destruction, an ancient, silent mechanism. In the distance, a sharp sound erupts, perhaps a leopard, a stealthy hunter on the prowl. Although it rarely targets this termite hunter, the opportunity would be tempting. Hyenas and pythons are also potential threats, but the aardvark avoids danger with intelligence, staying discreet, nocturnal, and cautious. Its ears detect every vibration nearby, alert but calm. Its true struggle is not with predators, but with scarcity, the harsh terrain, and the constant need to feed. As dawn lights the treetops, it shifts strategy, avoiding open spaces and seeking wind-worn termite mounds where it finds sustenance. It tears through hardened surfaces and extracts food with a tirelessly working tongue, its body perfectly adapted for this ancient routine, strong, silent, and efficient. Around it, other animals, to follow their own rhythms. A hawk circles above, watching for smaller, more vulnerable prey, ignoring the aardvark entirely. When the sun rises and the savanna heats up, it returns to its burrow, where the moist earth offers immediate relief. There it rests, not alone, as a newborn calf trembles beneath its flank, pink-skinned and delicate. The mother cleans and nuzzles, teaching the first lessons of survival, how to sense vibrations and interpret sounds in this demanding landscape. Yet even this refuge is not invincible. As evening falls, the heat fades, and sweet scents drift in the air. An African python slithers toward the burrow, advancing slowly with a patience perfected over millennia. From within, the aardvark senses the vibration of its approach, tensing, senses fully alert. It cannot confront the snake directly, but neither can it abandon its young to danger. Protecting her young, she evaluates and calculates, knowing brute force alone won't suffice. She turns to her most effective tool, the earth. With a precise movement, she partially collapses the main tunnel, sending a cloud of dust that disorients the intruder. Then begins digging a narrow, winding emergency passage. She escapes with her baby clinging to her belly, emerging through a second exit cleverly hidden among dry roots. Behind them, the python encounters the freshly fallen earth and, frustrated, changes course. Night descends again over the landscape, and mother and daughter re-emerge. The baby sniffs the unfamiliar scents of the outside world: damp soil, insects, traces of distant animals, but all is calm. Under the moonlight, the clumsy infant takes cautious steps on the warm ground, the mother following closely, observing every detail. Their training begins. A small termite mound becomes the first lesson. The mother demonstrates scratching, sniffing, and capturing hidden prey. It is difficult at first, but she persists, guided by instinct, passing knowledge learned by generations. Meanwhile, gliding through the low vegetation, a solitary, skilled predator, the serval moves with silent precision. Slender, agile, and efficient, it possesses elongated legs, a flexible body, and nearly imperceptible movements that allow effortless navigation of uneven terrain and vertical jumps up to 3 meters. This leaping ability makes it one of Africa's most effective hunters, capturing birds in flight and spotting subtle movements from above. Its extraordinary hearing, with large mobile ears acting as biological radars, detects frequencies imperceptible to other animals, from rodents rustling underground to insects fluttering in the undergrowth. The serval is a precise hunter, every movement calculated. Unlike larger African cats that rely on groups, it is completely solitary, defending its territory and avoiding others to preserve prey availability. Females face the challenge of raising young alone. After a gestation of about 75 days, they give birth to 1 to 3 blind, dependent offspring weighing around 250 grams during early weeks. The mother must hunt while staying near the shelter to protect her young from predators such as jackals, snakes, or birds of prey. The birthing site is carefully hidden in dense vegetation, hollow logs, or rock crevices, and the spotted coat camouflages the young. They remain still and silent while the mother maintains the shelter to avoid attracting danger. Hunting mostly. During the day, the serval avoids nocturnal competition, focusing its carnivorous diet on small terrestrial mammals, especially rodents, which comprise roughly 90% of its food. This role is far from insignificant, making the serval a natural regulator of rodent populations and an essential part of the ecological balance of the African savanna. Its diet, however, is flexible and adapts to changing conditions. During the rainy season, when temporary pools and wetlands appear, it incorporates amphibians such as frogs and toads, which become vulnerable on wet ground. It also extends its menu to small birds, reptiles, large insects like locusts and beetles, and even eggs when available. In times of abundance, its diet diversifies, but during scarcity, its specialization in hunting rodents remains its greatest strength. The scrubland and tall grasses of its habitat provide the perfect stage for this feline skills. At dawn, when the sun has barely warmed the earth and sounds are muffled by mist, the serval begins hunting. Its padded paws touch the damp ground silently, moving as if floating over the vegetation. A faint rustle of leaf displaced by a mouse or the splash of a frog alerts it. Ears rotating independently, whiskers twitching, it measures the distance, then springs vertically with devastating speed. Claws pierce the ground, and a single, precise bite ends the hunt. This relentless accuracy results from generations of evolution and learning, starting from the earliest days of life. Once their eyes open, the young observe every move of their mother, how she stalks, positions herself, and leaps. They learn through imitation, their first clumsy attempts marking the beginning of a lifelong process. On the savannah, hunger is unforgiving. Though relatively small, rarely exceeding 18 kilograms, the serval compensates with astonishing speed and agility, making it one of the most efficient hunters. Yet this lifestyle carries risk, despite its climbing skills and short bursts of speed. A single mistake can be fatal in a landscape shared with larger predators. It carefully selects patrol routes, avoids areas marked by bigger predators, and uses thick undergrowth for cover. Dry seasons force it to expand its range and risk exposure, but its discretion keeps it largely unseen. Most camera trap recordings show it moving quickly, crossing open areas cautiously, and always alert to its surroundings. During rains, the landscape changes with new sounds, buzzing insects, croaking frogs, and creaking branches. The serval exploits these to diversify its diet, catching insects, swiping at locusts, or intercepting them mid-pounce. Its rhythm of life is dictated by the landscape. Every rustle, shadow, and vibration conveys vital information. Its senses remain perpetually alert, and the young learn early to read this environmental language. Survival is not merely about hunting, it is about understanding and navigating the terrain. They learn when to advance and when to hide, practicing jumps and stalking without movement, imitating their mother until their bodies become perfect instruments for silent hunting. This feline does not rely on the strength of a lion or the extreme speed of a cheetah. Its survival depends on discretion, awareness, and an intimate connection with its surroundings. It hunts mere meters away, unseen, blending seamlessly into the shadows as grass brushes its back. A single lapse in focus can mean losing prey, and one mistake can attract a predator. Every day presents a challenge, and each hunt is a test to overcome in this vast, unforgiving territory.